All right. If you owned a smartphone in the early 2010s, chances are you've played Angry Bird at least once. It wasn't just another mobile game, it was the mobile game of the 2010s, whenever you were waiting in line, riding a bus, or just bored at home. Millions of people had launched the game every single day, leading to it having over 1 million downloads as of the making of this video. But today, Birds isn't the unstoppable giant it once was. So, what happened? Well, let me explain. Back in December 2009, game developer studio Rovio released Angry Birds as a last minute attempt of success before they went bankrupt on the iPhone. The idea was incredibly simple. A group of birds had their eggs stolen by mischievous green pigs. Using a slingshot, players launched different birds to destroy the pig forts, or buildings, and to recover the eggs. The controls were easy to learn, the physics were satisfying, and every level felt rewarding to beat. Word spread incredibly fast on the internet. Within months, Angry Birds became one of the most downloaded games in the entire world. Soon it got ported to Android, PC, consoles, and even web browsers at one point, reaching millions of new players. This 2012 to 2014 was the golden age of Angry Birds. New games seems to release constantly. For example, there was Angry Birds Seasons with Halloween and Christmas themed levels. Angry Birds Rio, which was a collab with, I don't know which studio made Rovio. I think made Rio, but it's not part of the script, so you rescue birds instead of beating up pigs. Angry Birds Space was another themed game which was made a few weeks after Rio. Angry Birds Star Wars was a collabed version of Angry Birds Space. It combined the classic gameplay with lightsabers, force field powers, and iconic Star Wars characters, mainly the birds just wearing Star Wars costumes. Then came Angry Birds Go, Angry Birds Epic, Friends, that released on Facebook, and many more. The franchise became much more than games. There were plush toys, backpacks, t shirts, cartoons, books, playgrounds, candy, Lego sets, and eventually even feature length movies, which got pirated on YouTube a bunch of times. The friend at its peak, the Angry Birds oh, Angry Bird, was one of the biggest entertainment franchises on Earth. But success didn't last forever. There was one major problem was saturation. Instead of focusing on a few high quality games, Rovio released title after title. Many games looked similar, and players began losing interest in the franchise. Meanwhile, mobile gaming itself was changing. There were games like Clash of Clans, Candy Crush Saga, and Layer Pokemon Go offered long-term progression and live events that kept players coming back for months or even years if possible. Compared to those experiences, Angry Birds level gameplay started to feel repetitive. But perhaps the most controversial decision came years later. Rovio had actually removed the original Angry Birds from many app stores. For longtime fans, this was frustrating. The game that started everything suddenly became difficult, or even impossible for new players to download legally. Many fans criticized the decision, arguing that gaming history was disappearing. Eventually, the classic game returned under different branding before later becoming available again, but the damage to community trust had already been done. Rovio didn't stop making games. Instead, the company shifted towards puzzle games like Angry Birds Dream Blast, Angry Birds Journey, which was now removed, and Angry Birds Match. I don't even know if that one even exists. I AI assisted me with creating the script, by the way. These games focused more on modern mobile game trends, with lives, boosters, and frequent events. While they attracted new audiences, Many longtime fans missed the physics based gameplay that made the series famous. But today, Angry Birds still exist. The birds and pigs became recognizable around the world, and the franchise continues through games, merchandise, and animated content. However, it no longer dominates mobile gaming the way it once did. What was once the face of smartphone gaming has become a nostalgic reminder of the early App Store era. Angry Birds proved that a simple idea would become a worldwide phenomenon. Its rise show how accessible gameplay and memorable characters could create a cultural icon. Its decline reminds us that even the biggest franchises must evolve carefully, avoid oversaturation, and never forget what made fans love them in the first place. Even if Angry Birds is no longer in the top charts, its impact on gaming history is undeniable. Without Angry Birds, mobile gaming might not have grown into the industry we know today. And for many players, hearing that familiar slingshot sound still brings back memories of as one of the gaming's greatest success stories. But the video is not over yet. Remember earlier in the video how I said the Angry Birds movie got published on YouTube multiple times? Well, it's become a trend. Even the second movie is available on TikTok if you search hard enough. Basically, every single popular movie is available on TikTok. People just pirate it. With many game consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, and much more gaming consoles, slowly started to add age verification, which is all of Roblox's fault, by the way, and even going as far as not letting people own their games. This only affects the PlayStation with their slightly funny announcement of removing physical games, since you get the point. So, yeah, that was the evolution, the rise and downfall of Angry Birds. And I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you want to for more videos. And I'm starting to work on many withdrawal mods on Game Banana, so if you want to go check those out, you can. Anyways, this has been BSD6, over and out. Goodbye.